Hello everyone, Dr. Alan Mandell here. Welcome back to my channel, Science of Healing. What if I told you your heart is not working alone? Right now, inside your body, there's a silent partner, a powerful helper, working 24/7 to protect your heart, regulate your blood pressure, and keep your circulation strong. But here's the shocking truth. Most people ignore it, weaken it, and slowly damage their heart without even realizing it. That hidden helper is your blood vessels and nitric oxide system. And if you don't support it properly, your heart is forced to work harder, pump stronger, and over time, this leads to fatigue, high blood pressure, and even heart disease. Let me explain. Right now, as you sit there watching this, your heart is beating about 100,000 times today, pushing life through nearly 60,000 miles of blood vessels, without rest, without pause, without asking for anything in return. But here's what most people never realize. Your heart is not doing this alone. Hidden deep inside your arteries, lining every blood vessel in your body, is a microscopic system so powerful, so essential, that without it, your heart would struggle, weaken, and eventually fail. This system produces a tiny molecule, one you've probably never even thought about, called nitric oxide. And this molecule is the difference between smooth, effortless blood flow and dangerous, silent strain on your heart. Nitric oxide is your body's natural signal for relaxation. When it's released, your blood vessels open, they widen, they soften, allowing blood to glide through like a calm river. Oxygen reaches your organs faster, nutrients are delivered efficiently. Your heart pumps with ease, but when nitric oxide levels drop, everything changes. Those same vessels become tight, narrow, rigid. Blood struggles to pass through, pressure builds. Your heart is forced to push harder and harder with every single beat. And here's the frightening part. You don't feel this happening. There's no alarm, no pain, no warning sign, just a slow, silent increase in pressure that over time can lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, and even sudden cardiac events. Research has shown that endothelial dysfunction, the inability of your blood vessels to produce enough nitric oxide, is one of the earliest steps in cardiovascular disease. In other words, long before a heart attack ever occurs, long before arteries become blocked, this hidden helper begins to fail, and most people never even know it. Think about that. Your heart could be working twice as hard right now simply because your blood vessels are not producing enough nitric oxide. This isn't just theory. Clinical studies have demonstrated that reduced nitric oxide availability is directly linked to hypertension, atherosclerosis, and poor circulation. It's also why conditions like fatigue, cold hands and feet, brain fog, and even erectile dysfunction can all trace back to the same root problem, impaired blood flow. Because when blood cannot flow freely, every system in your body begins to suffer. Your brain receives less oxygen, your muscles tire more quickly, your organs become less efficient, and your heart, the hardest working muscle you have, is pushed closer and closer to its limits. But here's where it gets even more shocking. Your body is designed to produce nitric oxide naturally. You were born with this system working perfectly. So, what changed? Modern lifestyle. Processed foods strip away the nutrients your body needs to create nitric oxide. Excess sugar damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels. Smoking introduces toxins that directly destroy nitric oxide on contact. Lack of exercise reduces its production. Chronic stress shuts it down, and poor sleep prevents your body from restoring it. Day by day, habit by habit, this powerful system becomes weaker, until one day, your heart is left carrying the burden alone. Imagine driving a car uphill with blocked fuel lines. The engine strains, it overheats, it wears out faster. That's exactly what happens inside your body when nitric oxide is depleted. Your heart is the engine, but nitric oxide is what keeps the system flowing smoothly. Without it, the strain is relentless. Now here's the part that can change everything. The body has an incredible ability to restore this system if you give it the right support. Scientific evidence shows that improving nitric oxide production can enhance blood vessel function within days, not months, not years, days. Blood pressure begins to drop, circulation improves, oxygen delivery increases, and your heart finally gets relief. This is why something as simple as proper nutrition and lifestyle changes can have such a profound effect on cardiovascular health. Because you're not just eating better, you're reactivating a system that directly controls how hard your heart has to work. And when that system comes back online, the transformation can be remarkable. People report feeling more energy, clearer thinking, warmer hands and feet, better physical performance, because their blood is finally moving the way it was meant to, freely, effortlessly, naturally. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Ignoring this system doesn't just slow you down, it sets you up for serious consequences. High blood pressure is often called the silent killer for a reason. It builds quietly, damaging your arteries, thickening your heart muscle, increasing your risk of stroke and heart attack, and at its core, in many cases, is a failure of nitric oxide production. A failure of that hidden helper your heart depends on every second of your life. So the question becomes, will you support it, or will you continue to let your heart fight this battle alone? Because every choice you make, from the food you eat, to the way you move, to how you manage stress, either strengthens this system or weakens it. There is no middle ground. Your body is always adapting, always responding, always moving in one direction or the other. And right now, your heart is waiting for support, waiting for relief, waiting for you to recognize that it was never meant to do this alone. The science is clear. The evidence is undeniable. Nitric oxide is not just a molecule. It is a lifeline, a protector, a silent guardian of your cardiovascular system. And when you take care of it, it takes care of you. So the next time you feel your heartbeat, remember this: behind every beat is a hidden helper working tirelessly, keeping your blood flowing, keeping you alive. Don't ignore it, don't weaken it, and whatever you do, don't make your heart work alone. Every single bite you take is either healing your body or silently harming it. Right now, in this very moment, the food you eat is shaping the way your blood flows, the way your heart pumps, and the way your entire body survives. But here's the truth that most people never hear. Your diet doesn't just affect your weight, it directly controls your circulation. It determines whether your blood vessels open freely or slowly begin to close. It decides whether oxygen reaches your brain effortlessly or struggles to get there. And it plays a powerful role in whether your heart works with ease or fights under constant pressure. Deep inside your body, your blood vessels rely on a delicate balance of chemicals to function properly. One of the most important of these is nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your arteries to relax, widen, and allow blood to pass through smoothly. But nitric oxide doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It is built from what you eat. That means every meal you consume is either fueling this life-saving system or starving it. Scientific research has shown that certain foods are incredibly rich in natural compounds called nitrates. When you eat these foods, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide, boosting your circulation in a powerful and natural way. And one of the most potent of these foods is something simple, something affordable, something many people overlook: beetroot. Within hours of consuming beetroot, studies have demonstrated a measurable increase in nitric oxide levels. Blood vessels begin to dilate. Blood pressure starts to drop. Circulation improves. In fact, some research has shown that beetroot juice can lower blood pressure as effectively as certain medications in the short term. Think about that. A natural food creating real physiological changes inside your body almost immediately. But beetroot is just the beginning. Leafy green vegetables like spinach, arugula, and lettuce are among the richest sources of dietary nitrates on the planet. These foods have been linked to improved endothelial function, the very system responsible for producing nitric oxide. People who consume high amounts of leafy greens have been shown to have lower risks of heart disease, better blood pressure control, and improved vascular health. And yet, so many diets today are completely lacking in these life-supporting foods. Instead, they are filled with processed products, stripped of nutrients, overloaded with sugar, and designed for convenience, not health. These foods don't just fail to support nitric oxide, they actively destroy it. Excess sugar leads to oxidative stress, damaging the lining of your blood vessels. Processed fats cause inflammation, making your arteries stiff and less responsive. Artificial additives interfere with normal cellular function. Over time, this creates the perfect environment for poor circulation. Your blood vessels lose their ability to expand, your blood thickens, your pressure rises, and your heart is forced to compensate. But here's something even more alarming. This damage doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, silently, over years. You won't feel your arteries becoming less flexible. You won't notice your circulation weakening until one day the symptoms appear. Fatigue, shortness of breath, high blood pressure, chest discomfort, and by then, the damage has already begun. But there is another side to this story, because just as food can harm your body, it can also heal it. Garlic, for example, has been used for centuries as a natural medicine. Modern science now confirms that garlic activates enzymes responsible for producing nitric oxide. It also reduces inflammation, lowers cholesterol, and improves overall vascular function. Citrus fruits, rich in vitamin C, play another critical role. Vitamin C protects nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly in your body. This means the nitric oxide you produce stays active longer, continuing to support healthy blood flow. Even foods like pomegranates, nuts, and seeds contribute powerful antioxidants that defend your blood vessels against damage. And when these foods become a regular part of your diet, something incredible begins to happen. Your body starts to repair itself. Your blood vessels regain their flexibility. Circulation improves. Your heart doesn't have to push as hard. Energy levels rise. Mental clarity sharpens, because your cells are finally receiving the oxygen and nutrients they need. This is not a quick fix. This is not a temporary solution. This is a biological transformation driven by consistent, intentional choices. And here's the reality most people avoid. You cannot out-medicate a poor diet. You cannot expect your body to function optimally if you're constantly feeding it substances that break it down. Every processed meal, every sugary drink, every nutrient-poor choice is a step away from healthy circulation. And every whole food, every fresh vegetable, every natural source of nutrients is a step toward restoring it. The power is in your hands, not in a pill, not in a shortcut, but in what you choose to put on your plate every single day. Because your body is always listening, always responding, always adapting to the signals you give it. And food is one of the most powerful signals of all. So the next time you sit down to eat, ask yourself this: am I feeding my circulation or starving it? Am I supporting my heart or forcing it to struggle? Because the answer to those questions will shape your health, your energy, and your future. Your blood vessels are not passive. They are alive, responsive, sensitive to everything you consume. And when you nourish them properly, they reward you with strength, resilience, and life. But when you neglect them, They slowly close in, restrict, and place a burden on the one organ you cannot afford to fail, your heart. So don't underestimate the power of your diet. Don't ignore the silent connection between what you eat and how your body functions. Because in the end, it's not just about food, it's about flow, it's about oxygen, it's about life itself. And every bite you take is either moving you closer to health or further away from it. Every single day, without you even noticing, your lifestyle is sending signals deep into your body, telling your blood vessels to either open or slowly shut down. Not someday, not in the future, right now. Your habits are either strengthening the very system that keeps your heart alive or quietly destroying it, because nitric oxide, the molecule that allows your blood vessels to relax, expand, and deliver life-giving oxygen, is not just influenced by what you eat. It is profoundly controlled by how you live. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think heart health is only about diet, but ignore the daily behaviors that can either supercharge their circulation or cripple it. Let's start with movement. The human body was designed to move, not sit for hours, not remain still, not live in a constant state of inactivity. When you exercise, even something as simple as a brisk walk, your body responds instantly. Blood flow increases. Your arteries experience gentle pressure from that flow, and in response, your blood vessels release nitric oxide. This is not theory, this is biology. Studies have shown that regular physical activity significantly improves endothelial function, enhancing your body's ability to produce nitric oxide naturally. That means better circulation, lower blood pressure, and less strain on your heart. But when you stop moving, everything slows down. Blood flow becomes sluggish. Nitric oxide production drops. Your vessels stiffen, and your heart begins to work harder just to do the same job. Now consider this. Sitting for long periods has been compared to smoking in terms of its negative impact on cardiovascular health. That's how serious it is. Hours of inactivity don't just burn fewer calories, they shut down critical processes that keep your blood vessels healthy. And yet, millions of people live this way every day. Now let's talk about something even more silent, but just as dangerous: stress. Not the kind you feel for a moment, but the chronic, unrelenting stress that becomes part of your daily life. When you are under constant stress, your body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are designed for short bursts of survival, not long-term exposure. Over time, they begin to damage your blood vessels. They reduce nitric oxide availability. They promote inflammation. They increase blood pressure. And slowly, they turn your internal environment into one that works against your heart instead of supporting it. Research has shown that chronic stress is directly linked to endothelial dysfunction, the very condition that disrupts nitric oxide production. In simple terms, stress tightens your blood vessels, and when your vessels stay tight, your heart never gets a break. But here's something most people overlook: your breath. Yes, something as simple as breathing. Deep, slow breathing has been shown to increase nitric oxide levels in the body. It improves oxygen exchange, it calms the nervous system, and it sends a signal to your blood vessels to relax. But shallow, rapid breathing, often caused by stress and anxiety, does the opposite. It keeps your body in a state of tension, a state where nitric oxide cannot function properly. Now think about sleep. While you rest, your body repairs. It restores balance. It resets critical systems, including the production of nitric oxide. But when sleep is cut short or poor in quality, this restoration never fully happens. Studies have found that sleep deprivation is associated with reduced endothelial function, increased blood pressure, and higher risk of heart disease. In other words, when you don't sleep well, your blood vessels suffer and your heart pays the price. Now let's confront one of the most damaging habits of all, smoking. The moment cigarette smoke enters your body, it begins to destroy nitric oxide. Not reduce it, destroy it. The chemicals in smoke directly damage the lining of your blood vessels, impairing their ability to produce this critical molecule. This leads to immediate constriction of arteries, increased blood pressure, and long-term vascular damage. It's one of the fastest ways to cripple your circulation, and yet it continues to be one of the most common habits worldwide. But even beyond smoking, environmental toxins, pollution, and poor air quality can have similar effects over time. Your body is constantly under attack from external factors, and your lifestyle choices determine how well you defend against them. Now, here's the truth that changes everything. Your body is incredibly resilient. It wants to heal. It wants to restore balance. It wants to produce nitric oxide the way it was designed to, but it needs the right conditions. When you move your body, manage stress, breathe deeply, sleep properly, and avoid harmful habits, you create an internal environment where healing can begin. Your blood vessels regain their flexibility, nitric oxide levels rise, circulation improves, and your heart finally feels the difference. Less strain, less pressure, more efficiency, more life. But when you ignore these factors, when movement is replaced with sitting, when calm is replaced with constant stress, when rest is sacrificed and harmful habits continue, the damage accumulates quietly, relentlessly, until one day your body can no longer compensate, and by then the consequences are real. Heart disease doesn't appear overnight. It is built through years of small repeated choices that either supported your system or slowly broke it down. So the question is not whether your lifestyle matters. The question is, what direction are you moving in? Because every step you take, every breath you draw, every night you sleep or don't sleep is shaping the health of your blood vessels and ultimately the strength of your heart. This is not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about understanding that your daily habits are not small. They are powerful. They are biological signals that determine how your body functions at the deepest level. So don't underestimate them. Don't ignore them, because your heart is listening to everything you do, and it is responding with every beat. Support it or strain it, strengthen it or weaken it. The choice is yours.